What's up, everyone? Welcome into Hey Babe, Can We Talk? With me, your host and bestie, Drea Renee. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the place for the hot mess expresses, the black sheeps of love, and for those who just can't seem to get it right when it comes to matters of the heart. I am you are me, we are one, and if no one else gets you, I do. You guys, I am a relationship survivor, and I've done everything wrong. So let me help you do it right. And if you are returning, I missed you, and we're gonna have a great episode. On today's episode, we have Rebirthinitiator, Trauma Mama, Sharice Tareva with us here today, you guys. I am so excited. We're gonna be talking about boundaries within physical intimacy and how to keep your self-worth. Okay, my friends, it's gonna be good. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe, and share this with someone who you think can relate. And comment down below, you guys, because I love to hear from you. So let's get into it with Sharice Tareva, my girl.
Yes.
My girl.
Yes.
I hit that note, didn't I?
You did. Drea Renee.
Yes. Sharice, your voice is insane. It's insane.
Thank you, girl.
Yes.
Yes.
I love you so much.
love
And I
you
want to
too.
tell everyone how we met before we get into our
Okay,
love
do
and
it.
trauma bonding that we do. I love it. I love it. So we met working together many, many years ago. And when I saw you, you were such a light. You guys, Sharice is bright. I'm bright. But Sharice said, "Ah." And I was like, that's going to be my friend.
Aw.
That's going to be my friend. And then when we were washing dishes, I'll never forget. Sharice was like, oh, what you doing? What you doing? And I was like, washing dishes. And you were like,
Do you use the same sponge to wipe the countertop with that you use to wash the dishes? And you were like, oh my God, no. And I was like, oh, this is my person.
exactly.
Yes,
And
girl.
we bonded it up.
Immediately.
And then we went to Paris, which was one of the most amazing trips ever.
It was.
And every time Sharice walked into a bakery, what did you say, Sharice?
Merci. Like Rick Ross. Like,
And they were not happy with
They
you.
did not like it at all, and I wasn't making a mockery. Like, I just was having fun. Like, I was just being myself.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You
Yeah.
bring joy and light everywhere you go.
Thank you, Drea.
Even though the Parisians weren't having it. They didn't like us. They didn't like the Americans. But shout out to my French people.
Hello, merci.
Where's my croissant? Can I say that? Is that right? You have croissants there. It's fine. Anyway, I'm so happy to have you here in the studio. We get to just
in
share
LA.
our journeys together. Yes. Sharice has what I call, you guys, she has some of my grave moments. She's taken some things to the grave.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you
or
are.
we're going to put each other there,
Okay.
okay? Oh,
Okay. Yes, Sharice. And I just want to thank you for just always being there for me. You're such a good listener. You always have good advice, and you do not judge me.
oh.
I can tell you the craziest story, and you go, okay, it is what it is.
The thing is, people are so judgmental, and there's no reason to be, because we've all been in different situations. And like you say, I am you, you are me, we are one. That I feel that to my core. I
Yeah.
don't judge anybody, because
No.
I've done the craziest shit.
Sure.
Girl.
And the thing is, I think to myself, a lot of these things that I'm talking about, people are doing them. They're having these experiences, but they don't want to
not
say them.
talking about it because
No.
they're embarrassed.
Exactly.
And it's like our trials and tribulations are literally our testimony, and that is why you are here now at Hey Babe, Can We Talk with Drea Renee?
Oh, yes,
Hello.
exactly.
That's how you got here.
That's how I got here,
Yeah.
because I feel so passionate about being real and raw within these experiences that people are going through, that they're like shameful about, they don't want to talk about. And you guys know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm like, he didn't call me back in 7 minutes. It's over. We're done.
over. It's over.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so I want to talk to you about some of your relationship history. We're touching on physical intimacy today. When you're dating someone, what that journey looks like, what your pacing is like. Give us the tea, Sharice.
The first thing that comes to mind that I think needs to be spoken about is the impact that your childhood trauma and early, maybe young lady year trauma has on your relationships further down the line. So like I'm going to use one relationship in particular. I'm not going to name his name.
Okay.
But I've experienced a lot of SA, a lot of ST, a lot of trauma in that physical area. And it made me not open to my partner. Like when he would touch me, I would shut down. And I thought, oh, maybe I'm just not physically attracted to him. And it had nothing to do with being physically attracted to him and everything to do with my trauma that I experienced. So it took me, after being out of that relationship, years after that relationship, being like, oh, he was triggering me, he was doing this. And it was like, no, he was just touching my wounds.
Right.
He was literally just touching them. And I just kept moving, and I didn't want to lean into what he was saying.
Right.
Or what he was doing or what he was giving. I wasn't able to receive.
Yeah.
Because
you've done a lot of work on yourself. I want to go back a little bit. What inspired you to get into all this? And you guys check out Sharice's Instagram. It's absolutely amazing. You talk about such deep things. And I know people get so uncomfortable because they don't want to go there, but you go there. Have you always been like that? And how did you get here with your
we about to go down a rabbit hole,
Let's go, girl.
So I was born into 3 generations of mental, emotional, and physical abuse and trauma. And I later found out about some of the horrific situations that my mom went through and my mom went through. And I connected the red thread. And I was like, oh, no wonder I was trafficked. No wonder I experienced ST and SA. No wonder I was taken against my own will. I can draw the line. Some people are like, oh, that's dramatic. And it's like, no, it's not. I was in my mom's womb. Right? My mom was in my mom's womb. So I was in my mom's womb ultimately. So anything she experienced that wasn't healed in a sense, and I'm very careful on that word because I don't think that you're ever healed. I think that the journey is continuous. Once you're healed, why are you here? Living equates to healing to me.
Yeah.
I think that we'll always be on this journey. But, my mom didn't heal those things, and she didn't have the tools to heal those things either. I think she did the best that she could with the tools that she had. So did my mom. And I am the cycle breaker. I am the black sheep of the family too. And when it ran into me, the shit stops with me. It stops here. But I also had to experience it so I could have a testimony, so I could help other women that have been through deep, dark, dense SA and ST and other forms of physical trauma.
And especially in our culture, I think that there is a blind eye that gets said, that's not that big of a deal. Don't talk about that.
What happens in this house stays in this house. What happens in this family stays in this family.
We don't talk about our outside business. You're all right. You all right? You're fine. And there's all these things that are just being pushed down. And these things are going to come out. So when it comes to your relationship physically with a partner, a new partner and dating, especially nowadays, I feel, people have this expectation of sex being treated like a handshake. It doesn't matter. And no shade to the new generation, but these kids are just...
Shade.
Sharice said shade.
Shade.
I just saw on Instagram... the rate of STDs right now is through the roof. And, people are open relationships doing the thing. And I have nothing against that. But
Me neither.
Being safe in doing it is something that people are not really focused on. So we're jumping into these intimate connections, these soul connections, that people are just like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it does matter.
It does.
It does matter. Especially when you first start dating someone. How do you navigate that when you have you're dating someone new?
Oh, girl. Now, if I'm dating somebody new and I like you and I want to be physically intimate with you, I think we had a conversation about this. I want to see your test. I want to see it. I want to know what it's almost like, where did you come from? What do you have?
What's going on?
What type of family were you raised in? What demographics? Were you loved? Were you raised in survival, or were you raised in love? And what do you have? What are you bringing to the table? I think it's normal now to have that conversation. And I don't know what side you're on. I feel like because we're emotionally intelligent and we are doing the work, that's normal, and that's a beautiful, vulnerable experience to have. by itself. So I'm going to ask you that. If you're coming into my womb and my sacred space, like I need to know what you're bringing into that. And I'm not even just talking about the testing. I'm talking about the trauma that you bring in, your energy. Like, are you still talking to your ex? Are you still sleeping with your ex?
Does anybody think that you're their boyfriend? Does anyone think
do you
that
have
you guys are together?
any stalkers that are going to run up on me in spaces that they're not supposed to fucking
Am I going to be getting any woman-to-woman DMs?
Hello?
Woman-to-woman DMs.
Coming to you as a woman, don't. Go to him.
Please.
Don't talk to me.
You know, that conversation is also a great indicator of who you're with when you do say things like, hey, I just want to check in on your STD test. When's the last time? And I've had some interesting reactions in my life. People are like, oh, no one's ever asked me this before. And I'm thinking, I'm sorry, what? How is that possible? Well, okay, if nobody's asked you, are you doing it at least on your own? Are you checking? Like, oh my God, she's so dramatic. I'm like, oh God, I hate gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Drea. No, for real.
I'm so sorry. Is that
oh
weird?
my God, I hate gonorrhea. Like,
is that
for real?
Weird? I didn't know.
It's not weird. It's real and it's necessary in this world just because of what you said. There are so many and there's no judgment. I don't have any judgment. No. You fuck who you want to fuck. You do what you want to do. Like, I don't care. But when it comes to me and my body, I need to know what you're bringing to me. Across the board.
Exactly.
STDs, energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically. I really need to know who I'm dealing with because it is a mess out in these streets right now, girl. It is a mess. No judgment, but it's messy and I don't like messy.
Yeah.
I like to keep it clean.
Keep it
clean as a
okay. Exactly. And it's so funny when you are instituting these boundaries and something new and the amount of people that are willing to take these chances and do these things very quickly and they'll worry about it later.
Yeah, no.
Like I had one friend say to me, she was like, well, everything's curable. I'm like, actually, no, it's not.
Yeah, no.
There are some things that will stay with you.
Yeah.
And we all know what that is. So I'm good. Like I don't want it.
Yeah.
Right. So if I can do what I can to prevent it, I'm going to do everything I can. But I think that this conversation needs to be had more, especially when you are again, trying to institute these boundaries and how that is being received. People feel like they're being attacked.
And that you're being mean. I get that a lot. I literally just taught a class with these beautiful senior citizens in the city that I come from. And my mom actually used to take these classes before I taught them. And the class was about boundaries and respecting your boundaries. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I bring that up because people are like, oh, it's just our generation that's hell-bent on it. And it's like, no, these women are in their 60s and 70s and they want to learn about subconscious trauma and subconscious rewiring and healing, and the healing never stops. But boundaries are so important.
Yeah.
But my family, when I set them, and I've had people tell me like, oh, your mom was mean. And it was, no, my mom wasn't mean. She set a boundary and you didn't like that she set a boundary. She didn't play. She was no nonsense. She wanted what she wanted, how she wanted it.
Yeah.
And those are her feelings and that made her feel safe. Boundaries are really about the person feeling safe. It has nothing to do, like if I set a boundary like, hey, Drea, I would prefer you not to or kick me with your shoe. And it's like, it hurts. I don't want to be hurt. So I'm setting the boundary and I'm drawing a line in the sand to let you know what my safe space is. And if you are going to step over that and disrespect that, I'm going to have to check you with love.
And let me tell you guys, Sharice can do a check-in.
It's so firm.
One of the things I loved about you when we first met, Sharice will tell somebody the truth, you guys, in a hot second. Okay? Sharice, she say something to you? What'd she say? Okay, hold on, let me. Sharice, no, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Sharice, I got it. It's okay.
Right.
Like, actually, Sharice, go over there and say something. But yeah, I think it's so interesting that, like I said, within our culture, that those boundaries and those things can feel like you're attacking someone.
Yeah.
And I know for me, even when people first started setting boundaries with me, I would think to myself, what? They're upset at me or they're mad at me. And they're just protecting their space and they're respecting themselves. And I was like, excuse me, And even within dating, someone that was setting a boundary, hey, Drea, I need a few hours to process this. I was like, ew. Why? I want to talk now. Not being able to hear that this person's like, hey, this is how I'm processing it. I care about you. Giving me a time that would work for me, because I don't like open stuff. Let's talk soon. Let's connect later.
Like, what does that mean?
When is later?
Yeah.
Like an hour?
Can I get a guideline, please?
Can I get a window? Don't just leave me out in open space.
Give me a boundary. Like
I don't do well with open space. And anybody who dates me, they will know that. Okay? They will know that. I don't like open space. Give me a time. But I had to even work through that within myself, because I think a lot of people just yell from the mountaintops, oh, I want to be a good communicator. I want to do all this stuff. But when you are in action of actually having to show up and really communicate well, it's hard.
It's not easy at all.
How do you navigate that?
Communicating in relationships or romantic relationships or family relationships?
Romantic relationships.
So I'm very clear from the beginning. From the jump. In my younger years, not so much so, because I had daddy issues, and it was very much like, pick me, please pick me. And, oh, you need me to jump over this fence that is barbed wire, and I'll cut myself to come see you. Like, that was,
too?
Girl, metaphorically, I jumped a couple.
Me too. I meant metaphorically.
I jumped a couple fences. Back then it was very much like, oh, I'll just go with the flow. I was a go with the flow girl.
Yeah.
And that even spun the block on me not too long ago, where I was very much like, oh, let me just kind of go with the flow. And I was like, yeah, actually, this does not work for me. And this is the level of communication I need. My love language, my top one is words of affirmation. So like, I need you to talk to me.
Tell me.
I need you to talk to me.
Tell me. Right? Tell me.
I do. In all of my relationships, I need very clear, open, and direct communication. And also, I need that, and that's something that I'm also learning how to give. So when people are like, oh, I don't understand, and it's like, I'm in this with you. I'm not asking you to do something that I'm not asking of myself. And I think that's important. In relationships, we're so busy projecting our needs, and it's really just, it really comes back to your need to love yourself and your self-worth and your lack of it, and the things that you didn't get as a child. You're like projecting it onto this person, and you're literally giving them these heavy bags that aren't theirs to carry. They're actually yours to unpack, and most people don't want to do that. So instead of turning around and facing your shit, you're going to take your shit and go throw it on somebody else.
I used to do that. I said I would go on dates as my 7-year-old self. I would just come with all my little baggage in a suitcase, ready to go. And I'm like, hi, what's your name? Doesn't matter. Here you go. Unpack all that for me.
Here's all of it.
All of my baggage.
Here's what I went through. Here's the trauma. Can you please fix it? Actually, I actually need you to put it in different bags, maybe clear totes. Make it make
sense for me.
Sanitized ones, please. And go take care of it and go organize it, and then bring it back to me and make me a better person. And it's like, that is your responsibility. It's nobody else's responsibility. Your healing is yours and yours alone. You could do it with somebody, but how dare, it's actually irresponsible of you to throw that onto somebody else.
That's a big pill to swallow when you realize that, because I think in any relationship, I don't know if there's ever some perfect place, but I think the time it takes to get back to center, where you're like, ooh, that's my stuff. This has nothing to do with him. And how quickly you can repair that is the most important thing. Because I know I will jump into my 7-year-old self at times.
We all do.
Abandoned. You know what I'm saying? And then things come out, and then my voice goes kind of here, and I'm like, whoa, I am not in my adult self. I need to come back down, get back in my body, and say, hey, maybe I need to take 5 minutes, And that is the journey that I think is so important, especially when you're combining that with dating, new dating, and physical intimacy, and seeing if you have someone that can go on that journry with you, because not everybody wants to do that.
No, absolutely not.
It sounds like too much.
It is.
Let's just be in our inner child and fight. I used to say that in my last relationship. I was like, he would show up as he was like 8. I think he was about 8. And I was 7. And we're just sitting there just like little kids, just going at it. And I was like, wow, we are really not in our adult selves at all right now.
Most of the time, I don't think people are aware, 95% of your adult experience is based off of your subconscious. So your subconscious mind is formed from people like to say conception or Euro to 7 or 11, depending on your demographics. I like to say it goes a little further back because again, you're in your grandmama's womb.
See.
So energetically, like that's in your blood. Whatever they went through that wasn't healed in a sense, you're picking that up. So take your generational trauma.
For men too. That's for all of us.
Oh yeah, they were in their grandmama's wombs too.
Yeah,
so y'all are bringing your generational trauma into relationships when it's yours to heal. But we're walking around 95% of the time and our 4-year-old is acting out. Our 3-year-old is acting out. Our 7-year-old is acting out. And until you go back and rewire those subconscious traumas, you're going to continue to perpetuate that cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to me about your journey in relationships from old Sharice when it'd be like hot potato to now. So you can show up now. Because my therapist always says, shout out to my therapist, hey girl, rupture and repair is so important. That's one of the most important things in a relationship. And if you haven't done work on yourself, which you have, then you're going to show up and fight and it's just going to be terrible. So how do you handle that in relationships? Like Sharice over there until Sharice now.
It came up actually yesterday. I was upset and I get upset. Everybody thinks I walk around with light and love and sunshine beaming out of my ass, but I do. And also I do a lot of work and I've done a lot of work to get to this space.
Yeah.
So I am a beautiful mixture of light and love and hell and holy fire.
You really are, Sharice.
And so is my mama. God. Okay, I get it from my mama.
I swear, if I need to call somebody, I got my sister and you. I'm like, can you call them and say something to them? Because
I do this beautiful dance in duality, and society tells you that you have to be one way or another, and I disagree. Like I said, my mom passed away in March of 2022, and my life has been devastatingly beautiful since, and both are allowed to exist at the same time. It's not one or the other.
Yeah.
But a couple days ago, I was just flustered. Like my whole schedule, my Capricorn self, like structure, and my whole schedule is going to shit. And like everything was just like either somebody was canceling my brows, late, this, that, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I just surrendered into it, and that's really new for me because I am type A personality. I like what I like.
You are,
I like it. I like it right here. If I said it's right here, bitch, you better put it here. And
period. What sponge is that? Is that the sponge?
Is that the dish sponge or the counter
sponge?
I'm still very much like that.
Real talk.
But I felt myself getting upset. I was talking to somebody that I love and that I'm seeing, and I was getting upset with the situation, and it had nothing to do with them. And I felt it starting to bubble in my chest, and I was like, hey, I gotta go because I need to regulate, and I'm upset at something that has nothing to do with you. And he's like, oh, all right, I'll talk to you later. And I was like, cool. And today we talked about it, and I was like, hey, remember 2 days ago or yesterday when I was upset? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I want to unpack it and tell you why I got off the phone and why I was so quick, because old Sharice would have made it his problem.
Yes.
It would have been all of a sudden I would have attacked him, and he had nothing to do with it. Like it had nothing to do with him. I was having it wasn't a bad day. It's just everything was not going the way that my type A personality would have liked it to go. So I took the adult route and the more healed version, even though, again, I don't believe in being healed, but the more evolved version of myself. And I was like, hey, let me just take a breath.
Yeah.
And not project this onto him like I used to.
Right.
That was my favorite thing. My favorite thing was like, oh, you called me in the middle of a chaotic moment.
Yeah.
Let me throw it up on you. And it's like, that's irresponsible. It's my responsibility to deal with my shit.
Right. I love those moments where we can look at situations and we get baffled at how we used to have handled a situation, how we used to would have handled a situation. And you know, for me, I think about these moments where I would go so quickly to sending someone a long paragraph. I love sending a good long paragraph. I love receiving them too. I'm not mad at it. When a man sends me a long paragraph, yes, marry me.
I like the ones in invisible text.
Okay, Sharice. I don't mind an invisible text as well. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, make it invisible. But I used to send a long response and in situations where it did not warrant that. But I didn't know that at the time. And so I think it's so beautiful as we get older, as we have more experiences, and something in you just kind of, and some of it's just natural. You just get older and you just get tired, but then
grow out
when
of
you
it.
are doing that work, which and that's what we're our episode's about today, the self work that you do, it's so important. Because I agree with you. I think the healing, it's a journey, and there's no perfect place to be. So I may drop a long text somewhere, but now you can edit,
and
you can edit. There's an edit feature, so you can delete
so cute
stuff.
And I still may cuss you the fuck out. Okay.
You might.
I just
100%.
might, but that may be part of their journey too. That's why I said, listen, Drea, I'm dead ass. Healing is not one way or the other. Why does it have to be like
I'm cussing you out because it's part of your journey.
It is. Maybe our souls agreed for me to cuss you the fuck out so you can get it together. Okay?
So you're welcome. It's basically what you're welcome.
Pretty much.
Oh my God, that is
just
hilarious.
like some people are really mean and they're supposed to be so that I can grow. There are situations that I've gone through and I'm like, why was this person so nasty to me? And it's like, I wouldn't be who I am had I not gone through all these dark, dense moments in my life.
Right.
So like, I think the people that are no longer in my life, thank you. Merci.
I love you so much. Oh my God. So tell the viewers some of the work that you've done. Like, what are the specific things you've done to get to this place where you are?
Man. So my clients, I am, like Drea said, a rebirth initiator and the trauma mama. Some of my clients call me their spiritual doula too, but I've hired life coaches. You were saying earlier that you had a therapist. I had my first life coach, I want to say back in maybe 2008, and shout out to Carla Chin because she literally, she changed my life. That work was some of the most profound work that I've done. And I had therapists before that. And you said you have a therapist. And I think it's important to touch on, you do not have to do this work alone. Hyper independence is a trauma response. Okay, little Miss Independent.
I could do it all by myself.
I could do it all. I don't need nobody. You do. That comes from your trauma. But it just hiring help. Yeah. Getting the help that I deserve. I went to therapy prior to seeing my life coach, and to talk about the things that I had gone through at that time, it just re-traumatized me. It would literally send my body right back to that exact moment. And there was no healing happening. It was actually, I was just going deeper into the dark hole that I was already in. So I like to say that everybody deserves access to all different types of modalities, whether therapy is your jam. I do it. I'm an advocate for therapy. Absolutely. I have a therapist, but I also have a spiritual mentor. I also have a business mentor. I also have a breathwork certification that I'm going to this weekend. Yeah. Like it's not one thing fits the mold. So it was my life coach that really set me on my journey. Mm-hmm. And then it was my willingness to turn around and face all of those versions of me.
It's scary when you look at that stuff, man. I mean, when you look at what you've done, you take serious inventory of the things that you showed up for, the choices that you made. Mm-hmm. That is where people start to go, oh, no, I don't want to look at that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to look at that. And I think as a society, there's so many ways to escape and to do things to just remove yourself from yourself. But when you show up to yourself fully, I personally think that's when you can show up as your best self in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think you said that so beautiful. There's so many things that you could do to distract yourself. Yes. And when I was on a call with somebody the other day, and she was like, she referred to me as a goddess. I forget the goddess name, so forgive me, don't chew me up, all right? But she was saying you intentionally like dive into the darkness. You're not a victim to falling into like a dark moment. And I'm not. Like on a Friday night, bitch, I'd rather be in the house on the floor crying, journaling, getting it out of my body, doing a meditation, doing a full moon ceremony.
I'm here for a dramatic moment.
Girl,
I'm here for it.
Yes. It is so It is so cleansing, and it's hello, Rebirthinitiator. You following along? Like it allows a part of me to die, and then another part of me to be reborn. That's why I always tell people, like, if you knew me 2 weeks ago, but you don't know me, so let me reintroduce myself to you, because I'm not her, but please don't bring her out, because
okay,
she like
you hear that laugh? It's real.
Please don't bring her out. I had a situation.
Sharice really will. She's keeping it cute.
The other day, where I bumped into one of my family members, and you said something that you take responsibility, right, for the things that you did, and also most of the things that happened to you were not your fault. So that's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about taking responsibility for the things that you can control, not the things that happen to you against your will. That is, I'm never going to blame.
You feel very strongly.
Yeah, I'm never going to blame people for that. But I saw somebody, one of my cousins actually on my mama's side, and she was like, hey, what's up, da-da-da-da, and we were kicking it, and she grabbed my stomach, and she was like, what's this?
No.
And
oh gosh.
And I told her, in that conversation before she grabbed my stomach, I was like, oh, I'm not vegan anymore. Like we haven't seen each other since my mom passed. Like I'm not vegan anymore. Right. My life is completely different. I'm a new person. Like I said, if you knew me 2 weeks ago, you don't know me.
Hello.
And she was like, what's that? And
I'm shook.
I had said prior to her grabbing my stomach, like, oh, I'll swing on somebody. That's because I've swung on her before. Okay, so she knew. She was clear. And I said, that's my stomach, and don't touch it. And also
boundaries.
I love these big titties. Okay. And I love this fat ass. Okay. And I love my body, whatever shape it's in, whatever size it's in. So my boundary is you are not to touch all this juiciness. Only I can. And the man that I'm seeing, all right? Okay.
And what did she say?
She was like, "Oh, I didn't. I'm just
check people.
I'm just curious." And it's like you. And then her friend was like, "Wait a minute, me and her the same size. What's up?" And I was like, we live in a society where people are so comfortable commenting on things when we can literally just turn around and do your own work. You want to be distracted by commenting and judging and doing these things when at the end of the day, I gain weight, that's clear. But like, what does your soul look like on the inside? I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about what this looks like or the surfacey bullshit or like how much money. I don't care about that. I literally care about your soul. I care about your heart. Like, how are you as a person? Like, what are your values?
Because at the end of the day,
what is your purpose here?
Right.
Like, you worried about what I look like, and I'm worried about, is your soul okay?
Clearly it's not.
Because I swing on you. And the more evolved version of me was like, I could, but what is that going to do? Exactly. That's just going to bring me back to the version of myself that my family has locked me in. My family has locked me into like this 16-year-old version of myself, and they will refuse to meet this evolved bad bitch that I've become, because then it makes everything about the way they think about me wrong. Yeah. And it's like she's still here, but I've let her know that she's safe. Yeah. Like my younger self, Drea, my 4-year-old self is a savage. Anytime somebody says something to me, she pulls her blade out. She's like, so we're cutting them? Okay, and I'm like, Reese. I'm like, sweetheart, you can sit down. We're safe. And she's like, nah, I'm going to cut them. And I'm like, girl.
No. Wow. I'm like, my 7-year-old needs to meet your 4-year-old. Gosh, my 7-year-old just at the corner crying with a box of tissue.
Nah, my 4-year-old is a savage.
Oh my God,
she
I
will
love
cut
it.
you.
Well, the woman I see today is beautiful, and I'm so grateful that our friendship has blossomed into what it has blossomed into. You're one of my nearest and dearest friends, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
Such a joy.
And let your followers know if you want to work through SA, ST, any physical trauma. I am your trauma mama. I help you transmute your trauma into your triumph. I have a 13-week program that we do that in called the Rebirthinitiation Academy. And I work with specifically women who have experienced physical traumas. And you guys will know where to find me. Drea will link me.
I will link
Come
you
get
everything.
this work. Come get this work. And I'm not your typical like empowerment coach. I cuss.
You don't say, Sharice.
I know. I cuss. Okay. I love to
edgy coach.
Listen to different types of music. I'm just me. I'm raw, and I'm probably going to offend you and be really confronting. But I'm also going to nurture you and be that soft space for you to land in your healing, because I've been there. I've been through, like I said, I've been trafficked. I've experienced way too much SA in my lifetime. And that is my purpose in this lifetime, in this incarnation. And it's my last incarnation because it's ghetto here.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I love you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Before we let you go, Sharice, we play red flag, green flag.
Oh yeah, let's play a game. So my inner child is so happy. Not the 4-year-old, not the 4-year-old girl.
Oh my God.
We keep her at bay.
Keep her at bay. Do we have the flags? Yay.
Oh my gosh, I got props too.
Yes. Okay, Sharice, when we play the game.
He really threw him and I caught him. I caught him. I used to play t-ball, okay?
Oh my God.
And softball.
Okay, Sharice, for our listeners, people that are not watching the visual experience, make sure you say red flag, green flag. One of my guests, we know who, had a little couple of troubles with that. So red flag, green flag, whatever it is. If you want to say why, give your whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So when you're dating someone, if they have children.
Whew.
Oh, God. See, there's no experience here.
I have a lot of experience, and
where are you at now?
You know what? I'm just gonna keep it real.
Okay.
It's just a red flag for me, and I am, because you know, we just talked about it on the way here. I dated somebody with quite a few children, and it was a fucking shit show. Okay.
So it's giving red flag.
It's giving red flag. I don't have children. I raised my younger sibling because my mom was sick, and I was a bonus mom, especially when my mom passed. But I just, I want that. I'm a notebook type of girl. I want the man that I'm with not to have any children, and for us to have our first child together.
I love this. Yeah. Okay, so red flag.
Red flag.
Okay, wants to share locations. I love that.
Drea did that on purpose.
Yeah. Put your location on.
You know what? I'm going to, can I give both, depending?
Both.
Red flag and green flag.
Okay.
Green flag if we're in a committed relationship, and you know me well enough, I'm a free spirit. I just be everywhere.
You be
everywhere. My dad has my location. My brothers have my location.
Okay, that's fair.
My best friend has it. So if you're somebody that I'm with and that I love, yes. But if we just started dating, boo, and you at my location just to gaslight me.
Oh my God.
No.
No experience there. Not at all.
Definitely experience.
Okay, likes to go out and party right now at our, big personality. I'm going out, babe.
Okay. Both again. Red flag, green flag.
Sharice.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because I like to have a good time too.
Okay.
You know I like to twerk it out. I like to drop it like it's hot. So if we're going out together, Zaddy, it's like a green flag.
He's like, I'm going out with my boys.
Go out with your boys. I want you to have a good time.
Okay, it's a green flag.
Yeah, I want my man to have a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
me too. I want him to go out with his friends.
Don't overdo it, boo. Don't overdo it. Not all the time, Drea. But I think that it's a balance, because I want to go out with my homegirls and have a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you gonna see me dropping it.
Okay. Makes less than you.
That I think at my big age, like, it's a green flag.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that much to me.
Okay.
Because I take care of myself.
Love this.
And I will say this, though, you cannot be a moocher and just laying around.
That's true.
Playing video games or not. We're not. No. That's not the age.
You're talking
that
about
I'm
him.
at.
I was like, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, no, girl, I don't even play video games.
Okay, I was like, when you start playing video games?
No, but I would prefer you know what it is? I would prefer me and my partner to have open dialogue about finances. I think that most people don't talk about that when they're in a relationship or when they're starting off new. Like, I want to know. What do you think? Is it 60-40, hon? Well, those are really difficult conversations to have, and we should be having those.
It's like the prenup conversation. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't like his mother.
Oh, girl, red flag. What the fuck do you mean? Why don't you? She birthed you. If you don't like your mama, my mama don't like you. She likes everyone. Like, I don't. You better like your mom. If you don't like your mom, you're not gonna like me. That means you have mommy issues. And you know what? I know a couple of male coaches that could really help you. That could really. Oh
my God. Okay, last one has cats.
You know what? Okay, Drea.
What?
Okay. So.
Did you put the green flag down?
Drea, I did. I'm going to tell you why. Why,
Sharice?
I had cats on my socks earlier when I came over.
Okay.
This isn't personal. I have a very deep subconscious fear, and I'm saying red flag and green flag for. I'm going to tell you why.
Mostly red.
Mostly, they have, like, your cats were so sweet. Like,
Don't say cats. This is a cat.
Okay, sorry.
Plural. I don't want anybody to think I got
cats. And he was really cute, like Groot, like
cute.
So cute, like had like a little cute jacket on and everything. Okay, but if I don't know your cat, I have a deep fear that I think comes from a past lifetime that a cat is going to gouge my eyeballs out. I don't know
That's
why.
why you said that to Papa.
Yeah, it's.
I was like, you don't do that.
No, I have a real fear. But if we're dating, like, your cat is my cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank but I have a real fear.
So, a little combo.
Yeah.
A combo.
Yeah. Okay, if your cat is feral, like, we go, no.
No, a feral cat should not be inside. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks that, but I don't think they should be inside.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
It's a health hazard.
Oh my God, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. I knew you were going to be fun. I knew you were going to be a joy, and I'm so happy we got you in the studio.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for lending me your ear. Do not forget, this is the place for the hot mess expresses, the black sheeps of love. I am you are me, we are one. And before you guys go, make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Make sure you follow Sharice, and I will see you guys next time. This is Hey Babe, Can We Talk? And I'm Drea Renee. Bye.
Bye.